Radio check, loud and clear. Thank you everyone for tuning in, and we should be live. Alrighty then. So yeah, here we are, 30 minutes away from the start of the Japanese Grand Prix. We have got, of course, free practice 1, free practice 2, free practice 3 as standard, and then, of course, we'll have qualifying on Sunday later on in the weekend as well. Thank you everyone for tuning in. If you haven't hit the like button, be sure to do so. Very much does help out the channel, and we'll be getting underway for the live stream very, very shortly. Well, we're already underway for the live stream. We'll be getting underway with the data very, very shortly. Currently up on the screen, we've got the Chinese Grand Prix data stats from 2 weekends ago, and soon enough we'll have the Japanese Grand Prix data coming through as well. Good morning, everyone. Hello, Marcus. Hello, Lee. Hello, Dehern121. Ferrari, let's go. Yeah, well, we've got a lot of things to talk about, especially Ferrari. Of course, I ended the stream. After the stream finished last weekend for the Chinese Grand Prix, a couple hours later, it got announced that Ferrari had disqualified, been disqualified for both of their cars. And the reason that happened was firstly because Charles's car was underweight and Lewis Hamilton's car was due to skid wear, plank wear on his car. So yeah, really not ideal circumstances for the Ferrari team, to be totally honest with you guys. They just haven't got anywhere, and we'll see what they can do this weekend. They've said, over their interviews and stuff, like they know what the issues were. They've designed new processes within their team to make sure that it doesn't happen again. But yeah, a very, very unfortunate week for Ferrari, and they lost a huge amount of points that they would have obviously had if they hadn't been disqualified, and now they are quite low down in the constructors compared to where they should be. So even if we do look at the constructors standings here for the season so far, Ferrari are in 5th place, tied with Williams in 17 points. So yeah, Ferrari probably should be a little bit higher up. They've got half the points of Red Bull right now, and what looks to be like a quarter or a fifth of the points of McLaren, and to be honest, their pace isn't that bad, as they should be higher than Red Bull for sure. Alright, and then of course the big news, we've of course got Yuki Tsunoda replacing Liam Lawson at Red Bull. I think it's kind of wild really that they've decided to replace him after 2 weekends. I mean, that is so quick before you not even give the guy a chance, really, not even give him a full chance, and then I've basically just said, actually, we're just going to go straight into having Yuki Tsunoda instead. So yeah, this is the thing, like, I don't really know what's going to happen. I don't know if Tsunoda's going to do well, if he's going to get destroyed by Verstappen. Tsunoda has, given some good signs in the past. Of course, he is a very quick Formula 1 driver. He has been at the Racing Bulls team for a while now, so he's got he's got a lot more experience than Tsunoda has. I think got more experience than Lawson has, sorry. I think Tsunoda's been in Formula 1 for 4 years now, so yep, he should be much more well equipped to go into the Red Bull. A lot of the ex-Red Bull drivers, Sergio Perez, Pierre Gasly, have both come and contact Yuki Tsunoda, to say, oh, this is what I would have done if I was at Red Bull, and they gave him a little bit of advice, which is great to hear. So Tsunoda's got some advice from some ex-Red Bull drivers, and now we'll just wait and see what will happen. If Tsunoda will be able to score some points, maybe get out of Q3, get out of Q1, get out of Q2, but we don't really know, because he's only going to have 3 hours of practice. Like Yuki, if he was in the car from the start of the season, then it would have been a totally different question. He would have had all of pre-season testing, he would have had the whole winter break, everything to get used to everything, but now he's only going to have 3 hours, which really puts him at a very big disadvantage, especially when the car is tricky to drive like the Red Bull. It becomes very, very difficult to to get up to speed in the space of 3 hours. But this is the thing. This is the thing that differentiates the good drivers from the great drivers. When you have the ability to just sort of get into a car and perform and just deliver, then you know for a fact that you're like one of the greats. I've told this story a few times, but Ferrari, when testing was like you could do unlimited testing, that was allowed like back in the early 2000s. I think it was Rubens Barrichello was doing testing for Ferrari, and he was doing lap after lap after lap, and he was doing loads of laps. And after about 3 days of testing, he comes in and sets like the fastest lap that he possibly can, and then Michael Schumacher gets in the car. And within the space of around 3, 4, 5 laps, Schumacher's already beat Barrichello's time. And Schumacher's only been at the circuit for 5 laps. So it really that's what I'm talking about when there's a difference between a good driver and a great driver, someone that can just get in the car and just go quick. So we'll see what Tsunoda can do, but there's so much pressure on him. There's pressure on him from the external factors, pressure on him from internal factors, and let's wait and see. Yuki got beat by Gasly, mid-level driver. He's not proven Lance de Vries, Lawson. Yeah, that is true. That is true. However, I think Yuki was a little bit of an early stage in his career when he got beat by Gasly. So we'll have to wait and see. Of course, Yuki's progressed as a driver. Both Gasly's also progressed as a driver. So we'll see what can happen. Yeah. Because when Gasly was at the Red Bull, he couldn't deliver because that was way too early on in his career. And then when Yuki was in the Red Bull, well, we'll see what happens. But yeah. Oh, you're getting adverts. Apologies for that. Let me just pause the adverts there. Right. Thank you for tuning in, folks. We've got 700 people tuned in. If you haven't hit the like button, please be sure to do so. It really does help out the channel. Let me just modify the number of likes we've got. I forgot to change that from last weekend. We had 10,000 likes for the race stream, but I don't think we're going to be hitting 10,000 likes for practice one. Yeah. Hello, bestie. I can't sleep. Fair enough. Yeah, it's currently 3 a.m. here in the UK, and I will not be getting much sleep, to be honest, because, well, I'm going to be commentating for a bit. So, yeah, hello. All right. Best scenario for Liam would be Yuki leaving at the end of the season and Isaac doesn't perform well and Max is straight up quitting Red Bull. Yeah, well, the thing is, if Max quits Red Bull, I don't know what's going to happen because, as we've seen, Liam Lawson can't deliver and he ends up getting knocked out, getting eliminated in 20th position. We'll see what Tsunoda can do. But if Max Verstappen leaves Red Bull, Max Verstappen's apparently the only driver that can drive the Red Bull car. So I have no idea what they're going to do if they want someone else to come in and drive, because their car is undrivable by any other driver. Nobody wants to sort of be Max Verstappen's teammate because that's just a career-ending decision. And then they might drop down. There could be the biggest downfall, the quickest and the biggest downfall in Formula One history if Max Verstappen leaves the Red Bull team, because I don't think anyone else can drive that car as quick as he can. And yeah. Everyone Gamer, are you ready for the triple header? That's a lot of nights staying up. Well, it's actually not that bad actually, because the next 2 races in Bahrain and in Saudi Arabia haven't got that bad of time zones, to be fair. They're actually pretty good time zones. I think the race is like 2 p.m. or 3 p.m. UK time, so it's really not that bad. Yeah. I think Japan is the last race that has got a bad time zone all the way to Las Vegas, which is I think the third to last race of the season, or second to last race of the season. So every other race in the rest of the season is all good time zones. It's just the first 3 races, Australia, China, and Japan, 3 bad time zones in a row. Yeah, but should be fine. I've done it before, so I'll be able to do it again. Okie dokes. Oh, we've got nearly 1,000 people tuned in. That is fantastic, folks. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Very much is appreciated. All right. What else have we got going on here today? Not all that much. Putting Lawson on the... Actually, yeah, I need to take Lawson off the fastest lap count. I need to put Yuki Tsunoda in instead. Let me change that. Alright, there we go. We've got Tsunoda on the fastest lap count now. Let's see what he can do. I mean, I'm not the most confident, but, you know, we'll wait and see what happens. Alright. We've got some more Formula One news to go through. We're 20 minutes away. In fact, folks, we're now 20 minutes away. I've got a brand new thing for this live stream that I've just I put together, you know, yesterday. So let's show this off then. I have got the... Yes, the data that's currently up is currently from the Chinese Grand Prix. We're going to have the Japanese Grand Prix data come through in around 15 minutes time. So yesterday I was driving around on the F1 game, and I decided what I should do is record a lap of driving around the Japanese Grand Prix circuit, and then I'll be able to take you through a lap of the circuit. So I shall, let's see. Here we go then. Right, this is a lap of the Japanese Grand Prix circuit. We go through the final chicane. You hit the bollards, as you do, because you're an expert driver like me. Then you shift down the gears, stay on the outside line when you are starting your flying lap, open DRS of course, and then you're barreling down the main straight, going probably to around 310 k's as you go through there. Then onto the brakes for turn number one. Round you go, a full 180 degrees. Then you're into the S's that go left, right, and you're going up a hill. It's basically like a roller coaster. You've got to stay away from the curbs here, otherwise if you touch the curbs you will spin. And then as you go through Dunlop, the car goes a little, like, there's quite a high potential of snaps. We see that very, very often. Then into Degner 1, tap the brakes, flick the car right, stay within track limits. Same for Degner 2. You got a lot of camber there to help you through the corner. You go under the bridge. Of course, Suzuka is the only circuit with a figure of 8 configuration. And then you go into the hairpin. Actually, you can take an outside line for the hairpin. You don't need to go to the inside line because the outside line sort of hooks you around, which is very, very nice. And then you go towards Spoon Curve now. As you can see, the circuit is very, very narrow, only 2 cars wide. And then you go to Spoon Curve, you sort of do a V, you do a double apex, hit the first apex, go back out, hit the second apex, and then go to the next apex. And then of course you stick to the left hand side, minimize the distance as much as possible. Then you're going towards the infamous 130R, and you just turn left. Really, in these modern cars it's not really that much of an issue. And then you're very, very late onto the brakes for the final chicane. You get back onto the power, hopefully don't lose traction like I do, and then you take the inside line to minimize the distance coming across the line at the circuit. So that is a lap of the Japanese Grand Prix. I don't know if you guys like that, then I will record a lap for every single circuit, and I will, I'll have it ready for the stream. I think it's kind of useful. So yeah, if you guys are, let me know in the chat below. Okie dokes. Also, if you haven't hit the like button, then be sure to hit the hit it, because it really does help out the channel. And yeah, we'll be getting underway in 15 minutes time. Alright, pretty cool addition. Fair enough. Well, yeah, I will, I mean, to be honest, I recorded that on the F1 2021 game. I don't know if you guys even noticed, because the F1 games don't change all that much. But, oh yeah, that was an elite lap. Put F1 Gamer in second Red Bull seat for sure. Alright then, yeah, I will record more laps of the next circuits. I think I've already recorded the next ones. I've recorded Bahrain, I've recorded Saudi Arabia, so I'll record the remaining laps, and then yeah. Can you explain how the cross zone works? Yeah, sure. So the cross zone works, as you can see my mouse cursor here. This part here. So when you're coming down the back straight here, just before 130R, this is elevated on top of this bit of the circuit. So this part here is a bridge over the exit of Degner 2. So that's essentially how it works. There's just a bridge, and it's not a very big bridge. It's literally just the width of the circuit, and that's why the teams can, that's why they can drive over the bridge, and it's the only circuit that has a configuration where you drive over like it's a figure of 8 basically. What was your lap time? I actually don't know. My lap time, actually, my best lap time for Suzuka on the F1 2021 game was 1,400th on the leaderboard. So yeah, 1,400. That's the best that I've got on F1 2021 at Suzuka. So I'd say pretty quick. That lap wasn't all that quick, because I haven't driven the F1 game in like 1 year. But yeah. All right. Will you say the over or the under on Yuki finishing P10 in the GP? I think I'm gonna go with over. I'm gonna be optimistic here. Yeah. All right. How long is the circuit? The circuit I think is like 5.8 kilometers. I will double check that for you. Yeah. Do you think F125 is worth buying? Well, I think so. There are quite a lot of new features, and I will be getting F125 this year. I'll probably have to get a new Xbox for that, but I will probably get F125. Just because right now the last F1 game that I've got is F121, and given my name being F1 Gamer, it's not exactly very gamer of me to have a game that's 4 years out of date. But I will probably, I will probably get it. Seems like a good game. As long as the handling's alright, then it should be fine. Let's see. What have we got here? How long is the Suzuka Grand Prix circuit? I have totally forgotten the circuit length. Oh yeah, 5.8 kilometers. Yeah, there we go. 5.07 kilometers. That's exactly what it is. Can you explain sector 1, 2, 3 in your chart? Yeah, I will do. In fact, let me see if we have got the data for the Japanese Grand Prix yet. Normally it comes through. Has it come through yet? Oh yeah, I'll be coming through in just a second. So I will, in fact, I'll get the Japanese Grand Prix data up, and then I'll explain sector 1, 2, and 3. Yeah, currently it's just showing the Chinese Grand Prix data for now. The Japanese Grand Prix data is coming through in about 30 seconds, so thank you everyone for tuning in. Alright, also I should let you guys know, we've got 1,700 people tuned in here. I am currently live on Twitch as well, so if you guys are interested and you prefer Twitch, then go ahead and look me up on Twitch. I'm F1_gamer_5. And feel free to watch on Twitch if you'd like. Totally up to you guys. But I thought I'd give you guys the option. So, and since the channel's got big enough, I might as well. Alright, let's have a look. Have we got the Japanese Grand Prix data? Yes, we have. Alright, fantastic. Let's get rid of that. And let's also get rid of that, which is last year's Japanese Grand Prix, which was won by Max Verstappen. Okay, link the Twitch channel. Sure, why not? Oh, wow, we've already got 3 people that have just followed me on Twitch. Well, there we go. I will link the Twitch channel. Give me a second, folks. Okie dokes. But anyway, let's running through. We're now 10 minutes away from the start of free practice, and we will. I'll run through a final couple of bits of information, and as we get underway. Right, let me just get this link, and then I shall run through the final little bit of information. There we go. Here is the link to Twitch. Twitch if you guys are interested in watching over on Twitch. All right, so of course, this is Tsunoda's home race as well, so we'll see how he can do. Of course, also, what do you guys think of the liveries, folks? What do you guys think? Which one is the best livery? The Haas livery is quite nice, but I've also got to say the Red Bull livery, the white Red Bull, is just simply on another level. Like, there's nothing else that I can use to describe it. Like, it's just so beautiful. And I think they should just keep the Red Bull one. I think they should just keep the Red Bull one, the white livery, by default. I don't think they should have the I don't think they should have the blue livery anymore. The white one is just so great. But maybe the white one just seems so great because we're used to the blue one. I'm not really sure. Either way, it's a good livery, so I'm gonna enjoy it. I'm going to enjoy it while it's only here for one race, and the same thing for the Japanese Grand Prix as well. It's only one race. It's only one race here at Suzuka, one race for the Haas livery as well, one race for the Red Bull livery. It would be nice, but yeah. Pulled me from YouTube, prefer the Twitch platform. Fair enough. Hello. Yeah, we've got a couple of people on Twitch. I can't guarantee that I'll be able to keep up with Twitch chat and YouTube chat at the same time, but I will do my best. Yeah. All right. Yeah, the cherry blossom is quite iconic, to be fair. Very I don't know what, I guess, yeah, an iconic is probably the best way to describe it. Very iconic thing of Japan and Tokyo. So yeah. All right. You'll be able to enjoy all the colours when Yuki dismantles the car into the wall. Well, we'll wait and see. Yeah, I don't know. I think Tsunoda is going to have a very tough challenge, and Suzuka is probably one of the worst circuits to be debuting the Red Bull car at. Like, if you could debut the Red Bull car at, say, Bahrain, where you have absolute acres of runoff, then that's very beneficial to you. You make a mistake, you go off the circuit, but you don't damage the car. Suzuka is brutal, and I'm going to be honest with you. When I recorded the hot lap that I showed you on screen like a couple of minutes ago, it took me how long did it take? It took me at least like 30 attempts to get it right. All right, you've got to give me a little bit of benefit of the doubt, because I hadn't played the F1 game for like a year, but still, like, it took me 30 attempts. For Bahrain, it took me 2, and for Saudi, it took me 3. So yeah, like, Suzuka is a very, very tricky circuit, and the curbs aren't the most forgiving. If you ever so slightly touch the grass on the entry to turn number 1 or on the entry to deck number 1, that's it, brutal, and you're gone. So yeah, it's a tricky circuit, and we'll see what Tsunoda can do. Of course, I think he has got experience racing here before, because he did before he came over to Europe to race in the Formula Series. He was racing in Super Formula in Japan, so he has had experience racing at this circuit before. So at least he's not going in here for the first time, and of course he's raced here before in Formula 1 as well. All right. And they should have made the steak April Fool's livery. Yeah, well, in fact, they were never. I don't think they were really going to do that. But yeah, we are 6 minutes away now from the start of free practice 1. Let me know what you guys think is going to happen in free practice 1. Are we going to see many red flags? Are we going to see any crashes? Yeah, I don't know. I think for free practice 1, I don't think we're going to see much action. Like, all the cars are going to come out. We've got track temperature up at 35 degrees, so that's not going to be an issue. Wind at 15 kilometers per hour from the west direction. Oh my goodness me, folks. The wind is coming from the west, which means that the drivers will have a headwind going into the Suzuka S's. I mean, I think the last time they had a headwind going into Suzuka S's was 2019. Seb Vettel, I think he got pole in 2019, and he said, in fact, that he didn't even touch the brakes a single time going through the Suzuka S's because he had the headwind. Like, it was such a huge boost in downforce, and that was in the 2019 cars. So in the 2024 cars, in the 2025 cars, it's going to be even quicker. And with the headwind, I doubt anyone's going to be touching the brakes. But yeah, Vettel put in a pole lap and didn't touch the brake through the Suzuka S's. I think everyone's not going to be touching the brake through the Suzuka S's. And yeah, 20 kilometers per hour. Oh my goodness me! It is very, very gusty out here in Suzuka. And also, ladies and gentlemen, there is a forecast for rain. There's a forecast for rain on Sunday. So I would set your alarms early for Sunday because it's going to be a spectacular race if it starts raining. The forecast says 60% chance of rain. Earlier in the week, it said 40% chance of rain, which usually is a good sign. If the percentage keeps on increasing, it's a pretty surefire sign that it will actually rain during the race. If the percentage keeps going down, like goes from 80 to 60 to 40, then chances are it's probably not going to rain. But I think it's going to be fantastic that it probably will rain, and I think that'll be brilliant. All right. Here we go then. 4 minutes away now from the start of the session. Fantastic. All right. What else have we got going on here? We've got, how many people have we got tuned in? We've got 2,000 people over on YouTube, and we have got 13 people over on Twitch. I mean, fair enough. I have started on, the last time I streamed on Twitch was 4 years ago in 2021. So, yeah, I mean, fair enough. How many DRS zones? There's only one DRS zone here in Suzuka. I don't know why, really, they don't have a DRS zone on the back straight, but I will show you. The main DRS zone is just down the main straight here, but they don't have a DRS zone going down here. I mean, it's before 130R. You could still have it disabled before 130R, but yeah, I think the FIA just want to play a little bit safe here because, for example, if you do have a DRS failure and your DRS doesn't close, then you go into 130R with an open DRS flap, and that's a recipe for trouble. Like, you're 200 miles per hour at that point, and you don't have any rear downforce. Like, that is going to be a real big issue. Okay. 2 minutes away from the start of the session, and we'll have the green light out very, very soon, and the drivers making their way towards the end of the pit lane. Which one of these corners is called 130R? It is this corner here, turn number 15. The drivers are heading down this back straight here, and then they turn left, and it's the radius is 130 meters, and that's why it's called 130R. It used to be a very, very tricky corner back in sort of 2005, 2006. You were very much on the limit of grip on the car there, to make that corner flat out. Whereas these days the cars have so much grip that it's not even an issue. The drivers can go through there one-handed, and I'm not even making a joke or anything like that. Charles Leclerc genuinely did drive 130R one-handed at one point, and how he did that, he had a slightly damaged front wing from a lap 1 incident. Not a front wing, sorry, a mirror. Like some debris had come off his front wing, or some debris on the circuit hit his mirror, and his mirror was wobbling about. So Charles Leclerc, what did he do? He held his mirror with one hand and turned the steering wheel with the second hand, as driving through 130R. So yeah, honestly, it's become a lot easier in the recent couple of years. If it starts raining like it does on Sunday, I can tell you for sure it's going to be a very tricky corner, but for now, it will be fine. All right, we are 30 seconds away from the start of from the start of FP1. I'm going to take you through a lap again because we've got 3,000 people tuned in. When I first took you through a lap, it was only 1,000 people. So we've got 2,000 new people to the stream. Thank you everyone for tuning in, by the way. If you haven't hit the like button, be sure to do so. It very much does help out the channel. And I've recorded an onboard of the lap at Suzuka, so I shall show you that before we get underway for the session. Let's get rid of this countdown timer. We're going to have the team radios coming through. We've already got some from from Oscar Piastri, 20 seconds to the green light. So just before all the cars are on the circuit, I'm going to take you through a lap. So this is it. This is a lap of Suzuka. You're heading your way towards the final chicane. Slam onto the brakes, 100-meter mark, and then go left, then right, onto the power as you go down towards the main straight. In fact, let me just make this a little bit smaller because we have got drivers coming out onto the circuit. But yeah, you're heading down the main straight, reaching 320 k's as you flick the car to the right, off the throttle, onto the brakes, and then rotate the car through there. If you touch the curb, you will snap, and that's exactly what happened to me. And then you want to stay away from these curbs there. They are very, very vicious and very easy to make you spin out. But you go through, you go through this very much like a roller coaster. As you go through Dunlop here, the car goes a little bit light and the chances of you snapping are quite high. Then you're now towards Degner 1. You tap on the brakes, flick the car to the right, try and stay within track limits. Same thing for Degner 2. The camber helps you through there. You go under the bridge, of course, as the figure of 8 circuit. As Suzuka is the only circuit with a figure of 8 configuration. Around the hairpin, once again, you can take the outside line because there's a little bit more camber on the outside, which sort of hooks you around the circuit. And then you go towards Spoon Curve. It's flat out through here, but as you can see, the circuit is very, very narrow. It's going to be issues for quali in terms of traffic. And the drivers then, once again, a V-shaped corner. They hit the first apex, go back out wide, back in for the second apex, and then flat on the power again, shifting up through the gears, 7th gear, 8th gear as the drivers approach 130R, and it's a simple flick to the left, and stay over to the left hand side to minimize the distance, onto the brakes once again at the 100-meter mark. Get it through both chicanes smoothly onto the power, unlike I do, and then you go all the way to the right hand side to minimize the distance towards the line, and that is a hot lap of the Japanese Grand Prix. Alright, so that's the hot lap done. We've already got all of the drivers back out from the car. Actually, yeah, it's Max Verstappen streaming from his car. He's just made his way out, and that was in fact a live stream from Max Verstappen's car. Okay. Remember the last year this channel was only at 40 subs. Now it's 140. Yeah, I mean the channel nearly doubled in subs last year. It was ridiculous. So yeah. All right. Do you play with wheel or controller? I play with wheel. I got a nice deal on a second-hand steering wheel. Like it must have been like 6 years ago now. And yeah, because I think the first game that I played it on was F1 2018. Oh, that's 7 years ago. Oh my goodness me. Yeah. All right, but we've got all the drivers out onto the circuit. Well, in fact, not all of them. We've still got Norris, Gasly, and Russell in the pit lane, but apart from that, everyone makes their way out. Both Verstappen and Tsunoda are on soft tyres. That is a little bit interesting. I'm not sure why they're out on softs, but, well, they are. And yeah, also we've got 5,000 people tuned in. I will pop a link to the Twitch chat, to the Twitch. If you guys are interested in watching on Twitch, then go ahead and click the link that I've just put in the chat now, and you can go ahead and watch on Twitch if you'd like. Yeah, be sure to hit the follow on Twitch as well. It really does help out the channel overall. Alright, who is BEA? That is Behrman. He's a rookie driver for this year, driving for the Haas team. Alright, Piastri goes top of the times. In fact, let's run through how the rookies are doing. So of course everyone's talked about Liam Lawson, how he's doing, but let's run through a couple more of the rookies. We've got Fernando Alonso. He has scored 0 points this season. Not a great start there for Alonso to his rookie season, but I'm sure he'll be able to recover. Isaac Hadjar, he's sort of just been pushed out of the limelight, really. He was competing quite well against Yuki Tsunoda. Unfortunately, hasn't scored any points yet, but nonetheless had done a fantastic job. And now he's going to be up against Liam Lawson instead, which I think is a little bit more fair. And we'll see who's the quicker Red Bull Junior driver. Is it going to be Liam Lawson? Is it going to be Isaac Hadjar? And give Liam a little bit of time to settle into the Racing Bulls car as well. So yeah. All right. What else have we got? Who else have we got to talk about? We've got Jack Doohan as well. He hasn't. He's been performing quite well. Made a couple of mistakes at the Chinese Grand Prix that handed him, a couple of penalties here and there. But apart from that, a solid start to his career. Of course, had that mistake in Australia, but so many drivers had mistakes at Australia. You can't really count that against him. Yeah, I mean, same for Hadjar. He had his huge blunder at Australia, couldn't even start the race, but still, nonetheless, he is back on his feet and seems to be improving. We've got Oliver Behrman, who's had a pretty good start to his junior career, with Haas now 4 points scored. In fact, he's scored more. He scored. Ocon scored 10 points, Behrman scored 4, but still, nonetheless, good points for Haas and good points for Behrman. And oh my goodness me, Max Verstappen on the softs there, just sets a purple lap, goes purple through all 3 sectors. Yuki Tsunoda behind him, 1.8 seconds. Oh, no, no, no. I mean, but honestly, you can't count this against him. Tsunoda has driven this Red Bull car for a grand total of 5 minutes. Like, he has never driven this car before. He's driven the simulator, but the simulator is nothing compared to what the car is, and you don't have the risk in the simulator as well. There's so much risk that you do have in driving the actual car, and in the simulator it's just like, oh, I crash, or I'll just press the reset button and everything will be fine. So yeah, we'll wait and see what happens with Tsunoda. I think we'll have to wait till qualifying. Like, there's no point making early judgments, but yeah, Max Verstappen won fastest lap there. I mean, he's on the soft, so fair enough. That's why he's so much faster than everyone else. All right, Norris on the medium tyres. He goes 6/10 back. Fair enough. I mean, that seems reasonable. 6/10 on the medium tyres. Yuki got a test last year. Yeah, that is true. At the end of the season, I think he did get a test in the Red Bull. But that was, of course, last year's Red Bull car, and it seems like this year's Red Bull car is even worse, given by the amount of complaining that Max Verstappen's doing. If you relate the amount of complaining that Verstappen does to how undrivable the Red Bull is, I think it would be safe to say that this year's Red Bull is worse. Yeah. All right. Is Doohan sitting out for free practice? Let's have a look. Oh yeah, Doohan is sitting out for free practice. It is someone else. I don't even know who honestly, I should know who this is, but HIR. I have not seen that name before. It's a little bit interesting because I would have thought Doohan's a rookie driver, so I would have expected them to have Gasly sit out a bit of time, but it's Ryo Hirakawa. He is driving in free practice 1 in place of Jack Doohan. So yeah, I think Ryo Hirakawa, I think he's a bit more of a senior driver. He's done a lot more tests in WEC and endurance racing. He did do a test with McLaren earlier out last year, but apart from that, I haven't seen him in a Formula 1 car in a while. So I think it's just a one-off thing because I think he's Japanese, but I'm not 100% certain. All right. Yeah, I didn't even notice. I noticed when I looked at Twitch chat. So everyone, gamer, thank you for the hard work that you put into the broadcast. Very much is appreciated, Mikey. Thank you everyone for tuning in. All right. Also, I have got some new emotes here, folks. I made some new emotes. I'll just drop them into the chat. They're a little bit small, so you can't really tell what I'm talking about. But well, no, you can tell what I'm talking about, but they're just a little bit. You can't exactly see, but I've just dropped all of the emotes into the chat there. I think they're only available for members of the channel. So if you guys are members, then that's a little extra perk that you guys get. But yeah, go ahead and check that out if you're interested. And be sure to hit the like button. But I shall get back to the commentary. Fernando Alonso on the hard tyres. Boom, up into second place there.
Great lap there from Fernando Alonso. Also, I don't know what happened to Lando Norris's lap, because he was up there in second place, and it looks like his lap got deleted or something, because. Oh no, his lap didn't get deleted. Verstappen just went quicker, and everyone else sort of slotted in behind him. So, yeah, that's a mistake from my part. Verstappen's just gone like absolutely rapid, but somehow Alonso still got quicker in the final sector. And this is the thing: the soft tires, especially with track temperature up here at 35 degrees and a headwind through the first sector. Look at this headwind of 17 kilometers per hour as the drivers go through the first sector. That means the drivers are really going to be overheating the front tyres, especially as they go through sector one. Well, as they go through the S's, turn number 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and even Degner 1, Degner 2. And then as you go through the hairpin and as you go through spoon curve, you're overheating the rears because the rear's sliding around a little bit. And then the final sector, you lose a little bit of time. And the final sector is also very much dictated by how much of a slipstream that you have, because it's a very short final sector. As you can see, the mini sectors that you have, there's a pretty big, there's a big chunk of mini sectors for the first sector, big chunk of mini sectors for the second sector. But for the final sector, there's only a couple. And that's because it's quite a short sector as well. So the slipstream sort of dictates how much of a pace you have. All right, we've got 7,000 people tuning in. Oh my goodness me, this is free practice, and we've got 7,000 people tuning in. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. It really does help out the channel. And I will be commentating for Free Practice 2, I'll be commentating Free Practice 3, commentating qualifying and the race, so it's going to be a fantastic weekend. So be sure to tune in, be sure to subscribe, and yeah, very much is appreciated. All right, we've got Piastri up into 6th place there. Nice lap from him. All of the drivers now sort of just getting some information, especially we're seeing some hard tyre running, which we normally don't see in free practice sessions, but this is the first time we're using the C1 tyres this season, and you want to test them out. You want to see what their race pace is like, because there is a chance, you know, we've seen this in the past, Pirelli make their tyres just a little bit too hard, and because they're a little bit too hard, they're just an unusable race tyre because nobody can sort of build any temperature into them. So the teams now, they're going out, they're doing a little bit of experimenting, and getting those, getting some data for these for these hard tires. So Noda sets a quick lap up into 5th position there on those soft tires. So he's a second off Max Verstappen. I mean, on the previous lap he was 1.8 seconds off. Now he's 1 second off. So improvement there for Yuki Tsunoda. He's doing a good job so far. So much pressure on him, you know, it's unbelievable, but he's managing to cope so far. All right, let's not jump to conclusions. We're not going to say, based off this, I'm not going to say that Tsunoda's going to outqualify Max, but we shall wait and see. All right, as you can see on the team radios, there's a lot of information coming through on how far back the drivers are. Suzuka is a very, very narrow circuit. It's pretty much only 2 cars wide for the entire circuit. There's not really much leeway to go 3 wide. Probably down the main straight you could go 3 wide, and maybe into the final chicane you could go 3 wide. But apart from that, it's very much a 2 wide circuit, and yeah, the drivers get a lot of information over the radio. There's a lot of blind corners, a lot of corners where you can't see where you've just come from. And because of that, there's a lot of team radios coming through on how the drivers are, how far back other drivers are and where they are relative to you, so you can get out of the way and don't get in their way, and otherwise you'll get handed a couple of penalty points or you could be handed some penalty points, you could be handed a grid position drop if it is in qualifying. So yeah, let's wait and see what happens. All right. Let's see what Liam Lawson's doing. Lawson is in 18th position, but of course Lawson's on the hard tyres, so let's not compare those two drivers just yet. The second seat is Kirsty. Honestly, I was thinking about this. Since the last time Red Bull had a competent driver in the second seat of Red Bull was in 2018 when Daniel Ricciardo was driving. And honestly, even that year, Daniel Ricciardo was quick, but he had so many DNFs. Like, it was basically irrelevant that he was quick because he had 8 DNFs over the course of a 21 race season or something. So he had a DNF like every third race, which was wild. And yeah, very, very unfortunate for Daniel Ricciardo. So, yeah, the last time they had a competent driver in the second seat was 2017. So, 2017, 2018, that's 7 years ago. Checo wasn't that bad. True. But I would say, when I say competent driver, I mean someone that is sort of equivalent to Max Verstappen. Whereas right now we've got a clear number two. Of course, we saw. Oh yeah, it was mechanical DNFs. It wasn't. I'd like to just be clear here. I wasn't saying Daniel Ricciardo was a bad driver or anything. It was mechanical DNFs. The Renault engine that the Red Bull were using back in 2018 was just terrible for reliability, especially in the Red Bull car for whatever reason. But yeah, all right. Oh, nice lap there from George Russell. He's on some medium tyres. He manages to go quicker than Max Verstappen. That is some serious pace. All right, Steve from Canada back here. You're doing a lot of people a huge service. F1 should be paying you or giving you better access. Keep it up. Thanks very much, Steve. Very much is appreciated. You mean there's going to be less overtakes? Okay, so when I was saying about the circuit being narrow, there will be slightly less overtakes than normal. However, last year we still had 84 overtakes at the Suzuka Grand Prix. I keep saying Suzuka, it's the Japanese Grand Prix, but nonetheless, yeah, we had 84 overtakes last year, so we're not going to have any shortage of overtaking action. Suzuka always brings up action because the thing is, normally as the tyres wear out, Suzuka, because the tyre wear is so high, there's so much degradation. The teams there will actually be the opportunity to overtake, the opportunity to get close, and because it's a driver's circuit, there's also a lot more opportunities to make a mistake. And the drivers make a mistake, they have some issues here and there, and then suddenly another driver's right up on your tail, and you get an overtake done. So 84 overtakes last year. We're not going to have any shortage of action, to be honest. Yeah. All right. Okie dokes. These live streams are the best source of free F1 live content. Thanks for being a huge part of the community. Yeah, well, thank you everyone for tuning in. I mean, it's very much... I mean, it's mind-blowing that we've got 7,000 people tuned in to a practice stream. I mean, I think back in 2021, the highest stream that I ever got was like 12,000 people, and that was Abu Dhabi 2021, like the final 2 laps of the race. So... yeah, I mean, it's incredible to think that we're in the span of 4 years, we've gone from 8,000 people to watching race streams to now watching 8,000 people watching free practice streams, and the channel tripling, quadrupling in size. It is incredible. All right. Lawson wouldn't be as hated as much if he didn't have such a huge ego. I feel bad for him now. Now that he's got humbled, it's all too soon for him, and it should have gone with Yuki since the start. That is true. I mean, this is the thing. I wouldn't say Lawson has got a huge ego. It's a very fine margin that you've got to balance here when you're in Formula One, where you've got to appear confident. Like, you can't just come into Formula One and be like, oh yeah, I'll see what happens, and if I don't do well, then I don't do well, and Formula One's not for me. Like, you can't come into Formula One and say that. You can't have that attitude in the first place. So there's a very fine line between, being confident and then being overconfident, and I think Liam was just a little bit to the wrong side of that line in all the press conferences and things like that. So it comes across as he was like a bit overconfident, but I just think that it was he probably just didn't phrase whatever he wanted to say in the best way possible. So yeah. Either way, Lawson probably shouldn't have been in the Red Bull seat from the start. I think that's something we can all agree. And it should have been Tsunoda because he was the much more experienced driver, and it's working out well for him. Well, it's working out well for Tsunoda now that he's got the Red Bull seat, but we'll have a look at the pace gap between Max and Max and Tsunoda. In fact, look at the pace gap right now. It's gone down to 0.4 of a second here. It started out the session at 1.8 seconds, then it went down to 1 second, and now it's down to 0.4 seconds. So, it's looking good, Okay, What do you think of no more fastest lap points? I don't think it's really an issue. I think the point of the fastest lap, like the whole reasoning behind bringing in a fastest lap point was sort of just to say that to give an extra little bonus to the driver at the end of the race who actually did have the fastest lap, and not sort of inspire this pit on the second to last lap of the race and then set a fastest lap drama. So I think, I think it doesn't really matter either way. It was only 1 point, so yeah. Honda paid 10 million euros for this. I mean, Honda did pay a lot of money, but Honda are already paying Red Bull a lot of money. Like, they're not directly paying Red Bull, but Honda invest millions into developing a Formula One engine and making a bunch of Formula One engines for the Red Bull team, for the RB team, and then yeah, Red Bull pay them some amount of money, but it will never recoup the entire research and development cost. So yeah, we shall see. Yuki drove with a very pointy setup in F2. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. I don't know if that is true or not, but I think that Tsunoda may just have a better chance because he's a little bit more experienced. I think a couple of people are saying that he's more used to a pointy setup, which is going to be helpful. But the level of pointy is sort of like, as we heard from Alex Albon. Alex Albon said in an interview, like Alex Albon was, before he came to Red Bull, he thought he was ready. He drove a pointy setup and he got used, and he was very used to a pointy car. But then he got to Red Bull and drove the car that Max Verstappen drives, and it's a whole new level of pointiness and like the car being balanced on the front end. So yeah, you can never really say until we actually see a quality time from Tsunoda. Yeah. All right. Yeah, the driver replacing Jack Doohan is Ryo Hirakawa. He's replacing him for the Japanese Grand Prix. I still don't understand why they're replacing Doohan. Doohan, the rookie driver that hasn't got much experience around Suzuka, which is notoriously a very difficult circuit. You replace him instead of replacing Gasly. I mean, it makes no sense whatsoever. Is Ryo an endurance driver or a super formula driver? I think he's an endurance driver. Do not quote me on that though. I'm not particularly sure. Guys, be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. We're getting pretty close to 1,000 likes here, and we're getting our target for this. That's for FP1 and FP2 is to hit 135k subs. So we're getting pretty close actually. Yeah. All right. Okie dokes. Oh, he's an endurance driver. Fair enough. Yeah, endurance in WEC. Fair. All right. Also, we've got 8,000 people tuning in. Oh, Tsunoda just goes a little bit wide here on Degner. I think, is that Degner? Oh no, that's one of the S corners. Oh no, it's Degner. It's Degner 1. On the exit, Degner 1 goes all over the exit curb, but he's pushing the car quite nicely, so it looks good. Why was Jack replaced? I don't know why he specifically was replaced. I think they have a contract with Ryo to give him some time in the car, so that's why he's driving around at the Japanese Grand Prix. Hadjar goes up into third. Nice job from him. Alonso's on a flying lap here on hard tyres, on 10-lap old hard tyres, and he's purple in the middle sector. All right. Verstappen's come over the radio saying, it's super weird, man. The car is flexing a lot. I don't know exactly what that means. I've never heard this before. The car is flexing a lot. Do any of you guys know what flexing a lot means? Because, to be honest, I don't really know. Also, folks, I am streaming on Twitch, so if any of you guys are interested in watching on Twitch, I've just dropped a link here into the chat. So go ahead and check it out on Twitch if you guys are interested. And be sure to follow me as well. I'm trying to, because the last time I streamed on Twitch was 4 years ago. So if we could get a couple more people watching, a couple more follows, then it would help out the channel. And hopefully we get just some more people watching on Twitch directly, rather than me having to pop links into the YouTube chat every single time. Yeah. All right, what else have we got going on here then? Let's see. In fact, I should just pin the Twitch chat for a bit. I'll just pin it. Okay, it says flexing a lot, snap oversteer. Not sure, not sure. I guess we'll see. I mean, maybe that's what he was talking about. But everyone now coming back into the pits, and what we've had 25 minutes of running already, and we're just having some drivers come into the pits. Is the AI team? Yeah, the team radio is being generated by an AI, so there's some mistakes here and there. It's getting better as the season progresses. We had it last season as well, but yeah, it has been getting better overall. So it should be pretty good by the end of the season. All right. Hi, F1 Gamer. Just joined. What's this about Twitch? Please elaborate. Well, I thought since channel's doing pretty well on YouTube, the last time I streamed on Twitch was 4 years ago in 2021. In fact, I had a big old throwback because it was like I had my title from 4 years ago, which was the French Grand Prix, which we haven't raced at in ages, but essentially, yeah, I'm just streaming on Twitch now, just in case, for example, if the YouTube stream goes down for whatever reason. But since we've got more people on YouTube, if for whatever reason, like my internet decides to cut out, it'll be the Twitch stream that cuts out first and then the YouTube stream. So, and yeah, most people now just stream on both platforms. Like, why not? If I'm already putting in the effort to stream on YouTube, I can press one extra button and stream on Twitch as well. So, yeah. All right, quali is later tomorrow. So in 26 hours, I think. 26 hours. That is when qualifying is taking place. Yeah, I've got 2 streams going at once, so it requires double the internet connection, which I'm hoping my internet can hold out. I have no guarantees of that, but if it doesn't hold out, then Twitch will be the first one to go, because of course we've got, I think, how many people have we got watching on Twitch? Let's have a look. We've got 66 people watching on Twitch, and we have got 7,000 people watching on YouTube. So, I mean, I think it's a little bit of a given. Hello from YouTube. Yeah, we've got a lot of people in the chat typing for the first time. Is Yuki in the Red Bull right now? Yes, he is. He has he's replaced Liam Lawson. Apparently, he's replaced Liam Lawson for the end of the season, but there's no way of knowing. There's no way of knowing really if that's going to happen, because Red Bull are never sure about their drivers. All right. Couple more drivers now exiting the pit lane, and looks like we're getting some soft tyre runs here, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are going into soft tyre runs in the first practice session. We've got Bortoleto out on softs, Piastri, Antonelli, Sainz, Sonoda, and Russell. Interesting here. Kobe Collects, thanks for the $5 donation. Will Hamilton win his 8th this year? Well, I would love to say yes. Honestly, I would love for Ferrari to be competitive. However, given that Ferrari's they've been disqualified last weekend, their pace doesn't look all that quick relative to the McLarens. I can't be all that confident. And also, folks, I do have sort of a reason for why Hamilton got disqualified, and also why he was so quick in the sprint race and then had no pace whatsoever in the actual race. So essentially, as all of you guys may know, these are the ground effect cars. They generate around 60% of their downforce via the diffuser, via ground effect. And the diffuser works much, much better when you are really close to the ground. So what do you do if you want to get really close to the ground? You reduce your ride height. You bring your ride height down closer and closer to the ground. And so what happens is the skid plate at the bottom of your car wears out a little bit too much, because your car's just a little bit too low. It wears out a little bit too much. So what happened, I think, for Ferrari, is that because it was a sprint weekend, they only had one practice session. The data that they gathered in the practice session about the ride heights and about how much the plank wears out wasn't perfect. So they were very much on the limit of how much the plank's going to wear out. So what they did, they had this incorrect data, and then they reduced the ride height of the car a little bit too much. So what happens was that Hamilton was super quick in sprint qualifying and in the sprint race because his car was really close to the ground. However, the problem with his car being really close to the ground was the plank was wearing out at a stupidly fast rate. The team realised this after the sprint race finished. The sprint race finished, they realized, oh my god, the plank has already worn out like half of its allocation, and we've only done the sprint race. We've still got another 58 laps of the actual race to go. So then what they did were like, oh, we need to save this, and we need to make sure he doesn't get disqualified. So we're going to like double the ride out. We're going to increase it by a huge amount to make sure that he doesn't get disqualified. Clearly, they didn't increase the ride height enough because Hamilton did end up getting disqualified. And yeah, so that's essentially what happened. Thank you, Victor Rothschild, for joining the channel member. That's very much appreciated. And now that you're a channel member, you can also use the new emotes that I've made. I mean, some of them are Formula One related, some of them are just general. But we've got some Fernando Alonso emotes. We've got a clown emote for the Ferrari team. We've got a goat. Got bald Lando Norris, but yeah, go ahead and check that out. Flexing is like the chassis. When you could drive a cabriolet over the railway tracks, you can feel the flex on. Yeah, fair enough. Thanks, Steve. Yeah, I get what you're saying. You can sort of feel the carbon fiber sort of bend and contort. And I guess when you're going through the S's, that's probably where it's happening, because that's where the biggest G loads are, and you're suddenly going from all the way, left steering lock to right steering lock. I mean, not steering lock, but the drivers are, changing direction very, very often. You can feel the sort of contortions and twists of the car. And yeah, oh my goodness me, Yuki Tsunoda goes up into second place. Boom, what a lap from Yuki Tsunoda. But let's hold on, let's hold our horses here, ladies and gentlemen. Max Verstappen has just come out onto the circuit, and he's on a fresh set of tyres. Tsunoda has just done his lap on a fresh set of tyres. So let's wait and see what Max can do. But nonetheless, a good start there from Yuki Tsunoda. All right. So it looks like it's going well. It's going well for Yuki Tsunoda. Also, guys, if you are interested, F1 TV Pro, there's a link in the description. Go ahead and check that out if you are interested in watching F1 with all of the coverage, without ads, and live with all the onboards and everything like that. There's a link in the description. Go ahead and check that out. But yeah. All right. I'm going to have a quick sip of water, otherwise my throat is going to start to hurt, but I shall be back in about 10 seconds. Is F1 not free in the UK? It is not. You would have thought the home of Formula One, where all the Formula One teams are based, where Formula One begun, maybe it'll be free, maybe you'll get the odd race to watch free. But apart from the Silverstone Grand Prix, you have to pay to watch every single race here. And Sky Sports, Sky Sports are the reason we've got to pay, and a whole lot of money as well. So Tsunoda's doing good. Yeah, well, he is doing good. Let's wait and see what Max's lap time is, though. They'll be on the same fuel, basically, because they're within the same team, so I suspect they'll be on the similar fuel load. Max Verstappen currently going through the middle sector now. Let's wait and see his middle sector time. It's green. He's green in the first sector, green in the middle sector. Looking good so far. George Russell. Okay. They've come over the radio to Tsunoda. Yeah, I think let's focus on ourselves. Don't need much reference time. Okay. So Tsunoda's just sort of focusing on himself, doing a good job there. And there we go. Max Verstappen, he goes up into third position. He does go quicker than Tsunoda by about 1/10 of a second, but nonetheless, only 1/10 of a second. I mean, that is huge, really huge. If this turns out to be the same in qualifying, then there'll be a lot of questions asked of Helmut Marko, of Red Bull, why they decided to pick Liam Lawson instead of Yuki. I mean, I know there was a bit of politics with Honda, but when there's clearly a better driver, there's one driver getting we'll wait and see. But if there's one driver that's 1/10 off max, and there's one driver that's 1 second off max, there's no way you pick the driver that's 1 second off. But it's looking good so far. But we're going to wait till qualifying. We're going to wait till then. George Russell, though, purple in the first sector and then comes across the line. Purple overall as well. Solid job from him. He goes a quarter of a second quicker than Charles Leclerc. And now we've got the McLarens on their flying laps. Let's wait and see what Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri can do. I think they'll have a slightly more fuel in the car just to, to sandbag us all and then get a 1-2 in quali. Let's wait and see. But yeah, Piastri and Norris currently on their flying laps. Piastri just coming out the final corner here. He's a second down on Russell's time as he comes through the second sector. And then across the line he goes. And what's it going to be for Piastri? Is only 9th place. He is on some used tyres, so let's give him a little bit of credit there. But yeah, not ideal. Lawson goes up into 7th. Very nice job indeed. All right. Purple means faster than everyone else on the circuit. So green means quicker than your personal best, yellow means slower than your personal best, and purple means fastest out of any driver or out of any of the drivers. Yeah. Who is HIR? HIR is Ryo Hiwakara. He is he's just doing the FP1 session here in Suzuka. Is there a tunnel? I can't understand the track. There is a bridge. There was a bridge. So where Tsunoda and Russell are driving over now, so they're sort of going... In fact, I'll just show you. They're going up this way. This bit is a bridge, and then where Lawson is going through, Lawson is going under the bridge. And yeah, Suzuka is the only circuit that's got a figure of 8 configuration. And yeah. Blue sectors mean, so these blue sectors here on the screen, that means the drivers are coming in or out of the pit lane. So Alonso is just come out of the pit lane now. He's on an out lap. And then these blue sectors here mean the drivers have just come into the pit. So as you can see, Russell's in the pit lane and his final couple of sectors are, final couple of mini sectors are blue because he's driven into the pits. All right. Oh my goodness me. We had a bit of a replay here. I think that was Lando Norris on a flying lap. Made a total hash of himself. He clipped the inside curb at the chicane. And yeah, this is another thing at the chicane. If you try and get on the power while your car is already a little bit unstable and unsettled from bouncing over the chicane, you lose a lot of time. And the car, well, you can very easily lose it as well. Like, you lose a huge amount of grip. So that's exactly what's happened to Norris. He was driving through the final chicane. Went through the first bit of the chicane right. The second bit, though, hit the curb a little bit too harshly. The car was unsettled. And as he got onto the power, the car just spun out. Not spun out, it sort of lost traction, and then he went over the gravel. Well, yeah, Lawson's done a good job up into 8th place there in that RB. And, yeah, looking good. Max's 2024 quali was a 128.1 for some frame of reference. Thank you very much. Yeah, so the driver's still 6/10 off last year's quali time. I do also have to let you guys know that the circuit has been resurfaced. So from the exit of the chicane here, as you guys can see, from this point onwards, all the way through the first sector to around about this point here, it's all been resurfaced. So that's probably going to help with some grip levels as well and sort of just speed the cars up as they go through the first sector. I mean, Suzuka is all most of the time a pretty smooth track anyway, so it's not going to be too much of an issue. But yeah, Alex Albon made a pretty big, not a pretty big mistake, but had a little mistake going into the hairpin. Just locked the front left tyre as he was bringing on the steering lock, and yeah, ended up going off into the grass. Unfortunate for him, but he's kept the car running and not beached it in the gravel. So he continues on and fight for another day. What happened to McLaren? I mean, folks, it's free practice 1. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. McLaren, is it the end of the season for McLaren? Are they washed? I'm sure they've just put a little bit more fuel in the car to hide away from the limelight. All right. Yuki is consistent now. Yeah. I mean, let's have a look. What was their previous lap? A 1:30.8 for Sonoda, and then Max Verstappen only did one lap and came into the pits. So, actually, I don't think that's really consistent, is it? Because his previous lap was 1.7 seconds slower than his other personal best. So, I don't know. I mean, it was his second lap. Maybe he wasn't fully trying, but nonetheless, it's all right. I think they're legit bad this weekend. I mean, we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see till quali, because I think you've just said this, but Norris has now just gone and set a purple first sector. So if you would like to take that back, feel free to do so. All right. What happens to Doohan? He got axed? No, it's just for free practice 1. Doohan is sitting out of free practice 1, and then free practice 2, 3, he'll still be driving. It's just Rio. I think Rio Hirokara is Japanese. I'm not 100% certain, but I think he is. Yeah, he's Japanese, and that's why he's driving in free practice 1, because they just want to give him some time at his home Grand Prix to drive around. Oh yeah. As you can see, I don't think McLaren are genuinely bad this weekend. I think they were just hiding their pace a little bit, because Norris has now just gone up to top of the times. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Very much is appreciated. We've got 8,000 people tuning in. That is fantastic. And looking good, looking good. Alright, in fact, well, you know what I can do, guys? While we've got a little bit of a break in the action, nobody's setting super quick lap times or anything. I mean, everyone is out on soft tyres, but nobody's actually setting that quick of lap times. I think Hamilton's gone up into 4th place, which is nice. So we've got the 2 Ferraris in 3rd and 4th, so they're looking to bounce back a little bit. Albon is now up into 9th place. I'm going to take you through a lap of the Suzuka circuit. I recorded a lap of the Suzuka circuit on the F1 game, and now I've currently just got it up on screen. It's going to block the team radios for a little bit, folks. Unfortunately, there's no other space on the screen that I can really put it, but I will take you through a lap of the Suzuka Grand Prix circuit, and let me know if you guys enjoy it, and then I can record the laps for all of the other Grand Prix in the season as well. So here we go. Got an onboard here, me driving the Red Bull, the 2021 Red Bull to be fair, but as you go into the final chicane, you hit the bollards exactly like I do, get onto the power, and take the wide line here. You follow the racing line as what the game says to maximise your speed down the straight, open the DRS flap, head towards 320 kilometers per hour as you go towards turn number 1, off the throttle, and then onto the brakes as you hit this first apex. Rotate the car, do not touch the curbs, otherwise you will snap like the car just did there. Then you go through the S's. It's very much like a roller coaster. You've got to have a smooth rhythm, smooth flow. You can't be stabbing at the steering wheel. If you're stabbing at the steering wheel, the car is not going to be doing exactly what you want. And then as you go through Dunlop, the car goes a little bit light. There's a potential for a snap there as well. Now towards Degnan 2, it's very easy to touch the grass on entry, but you have to be careful not to do that. Otherwise, you'll just slide straight off into the gravel. You go under the bridge here. This is the figure of 8 configuration that I was talking about. You go under the bridge, and then towards the hairpin. Now you can take the outside line for the hairpin because there's a lot more camber. The circuit sort of banks around on the outside line, so that'll hook you around there. And then you go towards Spoon Curve. Once again, a very narrow circuit. The driver's approaching the 7th, 8th gear, 300 kilometers per hour before they tap on the brakes, hit the first apex, go back out wide again, back into for the second apex, then foot flat to the floor, and you hit that exit curb a little bit early, to be fair. I think the exit curb needs to be moved back a little bit. Now you head towards 130R, you go over the bridge, and now you flick the car to the left, stay within track limits, and now over to the left hand side. You see the brake marker board on the left, 100 meters, slam on the brakes, rotate it through, hit the first, hit the second chicane. Don't get on the power if you've just driven over the curb, because it does unsettle the car, and then take the inside line towards the start finish line, because that is the shorter distance. But that is a lap of the Suzuka Grand Prix, and if you guys enjoy that, then be sure to let me know in the chat, and I will record. I've already got the laps recorded, to be fair, for the Bahrain Grand Prix and for the Saudi Grand Prix, but I will obviously include them in the stream if you guys are interested. Yeah. All right, that was sick. Fair enough. If you guys are enjoying it, then I will record some more. What's your fastest lap in the game? Well, my highest rank ever in the leaderboard was on the F1 2019 game. I think I was in the top 500 on time trial for the Austrian Grand Prix circuit for the Red Bull Ring. So yeah, I will. That's the record that I've got, the top 500 on time trial, which I think is pretty good. Please keep it. I will. I will. In fact, yeah. And I think a lot of you guys have liked it. I don't think anyone has come into the chat and said, "Oh, this was a really bad idea." So I will probably record laps for the rest of the season. Brilliant. And also, should I have the audio on or not? Like, I don't know. You guys could probably hear in the background, like some of the engine noise from the F1 game. Should I have that? Should I not have that? Do let me know. Fortunately, getting a little late in the US. Need to go to bed. Love the stream and the commentary. Keep it up. Thank you very much. Yeah, hope to see you guys on. The engine good. All right, fair enough. I will keep the audio on as well then. What are your thoughts on the F1 25 teasers and trailers and such? I think the F1 25 game looks to be a pretty decent game. I'm planning on getting it. So yeah, I shall. I'll report back to you on what the F1 25 game's like. Because the thing is, I'm on the F1 21 game right now. Like, I'm on the old Xbox One. And I've got the F1 2021 game, which means that I don't have all of the new circuits. I don't have Las Vegas. I don't have Miami. So I do kind of need the newer F1 games if I'm going to do a lap on those ones. All right. Oh, Hirowaka. I think, apologies. I have been saying it wrong, actually. I don't think it's Hirakawa. I think it's Hiro. I must have just been saying it wrong, but I'm just saying Ryo from now on. But yeah, he's driving in place of Jack Doohan for now. He's a Japanese endurance driver, and he's done quite a few Formula One tests. So they've just given him some time in free practice one to drive around at his home circuit in front of his home fans, and yeah. Is Russell simulating race laps? Let's have a look. Russell on medium tyres, 11 laps old. Lap time's 1:33.3. Yeah, seems to be doing race runs there. He's about 6 seconds off, 5-6 seconds off quali pace. So yeah, race runs for sure. Antonelli doing the same thing, but Antonelli's 2 seconds of a lap slower. So not sure exactly what's going on there with Kimi Antonelli and George Russell, but they must be on different fuel loads, I'm guessing. If there's a 2 second lap gap. Yeah. Would Ryo ever have an actual seat? I don't think so. I think he's he's a very quick driver, but for endurance racing, he's already got a contract with Toyota, so yeah, and a WEC winner. So he's a very quick driver, but I don't. There's very unlikely, Formula One drivers, ex-Formula One drivers make their way towards over WEC, but it rarely goes the other way that WEC drivers become Formula One drivers. Yeah. All right, we've got 10,000 people watching. Also, folks, I have got a pinned link to Twitch or in the chat. If you guys are interested in watching on Twitch instead of YouTube, then go ahead and do so. It very much does help out the channel. Yeah, you feel free to watch on Twitch. Feel free to watch anywhere you like, really. But yeah. Just giving you guys the option if you would like. What do the tyre symbols with the dashes and the non-dashes mean? Yeah, let me go ahead and explain that. So the tyre symbols with the dashes, that means the drivers came out of the pits on a used set of tyres. They weren't fresh when they came out of the pits. Whereas the tyre symbols without dashes, so let's find one without dashes. Here, Pierre Gasly. That means Gasly came out of the pits with a fresh set of tyres. So this is his first couple of laps on these tyres, these hot laps here. Whereas George Russell had already done like 3 laps on these mediums before he came out on them again. So it's not so useful here in qualifying, but when we go into, it's not so useful here in practice, but when we go out into qualifying and we see that, maybe the drivers are on a fresh set of soft tyres, or maybe they're on a used set of soft tyres. It gives us a little bit of information, a little bit of extra knowledge of who should be pushing and who should be right on the top of the leaderboard, and who's going to be a little bit further behind because they're on a used set. Yeah. All right, we've got 9,000 people tuning in to stream, folks. This is once again another channel record. We have never hit 10,000 viewers on a free practice stream before, and we've just broken it. We've hit 10,100 viewers on a free practice stream, which is fantastic. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Very much do appreciate it. And I will be commentating for free practice 2 later in what's it going to be? 2.5 hours? In 2 hours, in fact, in 2.5 hours. Free practice 2 will be getting underway, and I will be commentating that. So be sure to tune into that one, and I'll be commentating for the qualifying race, I'll be commentating for free practice 3, the quali and the race as well, so be sure to tune into all of them. All right, let's see. Oh, what have they said over the radio? We've got Charles Leclerc. How is the deceleration? Feels bad. And then Leclerc's engineer replies, "No, deceleration is good. We see more tailwind into braking at turn 11." Yeah, fair enough. I mean, the drivers are getting a bit of a tailwind, bit of a headwind. It's they're going to have to be very aware of it. I mean, look at this. The wind is 20 kilometers per hour. That is a huge difference in downforce levels as the drivers switch from a headwind to a tailwind as they go on different parts of the circuit, and yeah, we shall see how it works out for them, but it looks pretty good, to be fair. Right now it's a headwind going through the S's, and I think none of the drivers will be complaining with that extra downforce as they go through the S's is fantastic. In fact, I'm watching quite a few of the onboards. I don't think any of the drivers even touched the brakes. Back in 2019, it was a big feat. Seb Vettel did a quali lap with a headwind and never touched the brakes and got pole position in 2019. But now in these quicker cars, quite often, you see the drivers even on race runs, they just lift off the throttle and sort of coast through it rather than even tapping the brakes. Yeah, especially on quali runs, though. In quali runs, we're definitely not going to see drivers hitting the brakes here. It is just one of those circuits, especially with the headwind. All right. Ooh, Lando Norris has started to complain about graining, and then he's asked, "Is anyone else graining?" And Russell, and they've said Russell is beginning to grain, and he's on his 4th lap of high fuel loads, or 5th lap, or something like that. But Norris has said, "Oh, I've already started graining." So, and have a look at these lap times. George Russell are 132.9 and Lando Norris are 133.5. Of course, fuel loads are different, but nonetheless, Lando Norris complaining about graining issues. His lap times have dropped off a little bit, and I think what's going to happen here is they're going to have to modify that setup. They're going to have to change some suspension settings and things like that till they can, well, reduce the amount of tyre wear. Otherwise, it will become a pretty big issue. Okay. Oh yeah, but Norris top of the time, so I guess I can update the fastest lap count. I mean, not that it really matters that we are sort of just, well, in free practice, so the fastest lap count doesn't really matter all that much, but we might as well. All right. Okie doke. So Assetto Corsa for every truck, every car. Yeah, I do have a Assetto Corsa. So I could drive the F1 car that's available on Assetto Corsa as well. So I could do that. Yeah, maybe instead of getting the F125 game, or until I get the F125 game, I'll do the hot laps of Miami or Las Vegas or whatever on the Assetto Corsa games rather than on the F1 games. But yeah, we've got 10,000 people tuned in. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Very much is appreciated. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. Really does help out the channel. Hopefully we can make our way towards 2,000 likes. That'll be fantastic. We have got 6 minutes left of the free practice 1 session. I'll be commentating for free practice 2, which is in, well, my stream will start in 2 hours. The free practice 2 itself will start in 2.5 hours. But we'll just get more and more running, and free practice 2 will be closer to quali time. Like, qualifying will be happening at the same time that free practice 2 happens. So in that situation, we're going to see a lot more soft tire runs, a lot more low fuel runs, like the drivers really bringing the fuel loads down, because right now the lap times a 128.5 is the personal best. However, last year we were already in the 128.1s. And given the cars have got quicker, given the track has been resurfaced, we should be getting into the 127s, and we'll be getting closer and closer to that. So, yeah. All right. All right, Victor, I'll stay up for you and respect for your efforts. Thank you very, very much. Also, folks, since I've added a couple more new emotes, let me know if there's any more emotes that you would like. Because if we get, I think, 2 or 3 more members, then I can add some more emotes into the thing. But I've just put out all of the custom emotes for the channel. See, I've got Fernando Alonso, Charles Leclerc. Yeah, got quite a few emotes there. But if you guys would like any new emotes, then just do let me know in the chat, and I will do my best to add them in. But of course, it's a little bit limited because the size is quite small. The FIA logo could do that. Yeah. Jack Doohan is sitting out this free practice 1 session. He is in place of Ryo Hirakawa. Ryo Hirowaka. I'm not sure. How to pronounce his name exactly, but he is he's taking part in free practice 1 because he's a Japanese endurance racing driver, and he's got a contract with Alpine to drive a couple of free practice sessions, and why not drive it at your home race. So that's what's happening there. But Doohan will be back driving in free practice 2, so do not worry about that. Okay, what do you think about the Merc pace? Well, let's have a look. Russell is in 2nd place, Antonelli in 9th. I think it looks all right, to be fair. I mean, Russell's lap time are 1:34.7. His lap times have really dropped off, but look at the number of laps that he's done on his medium tyres. 17 laps on the medium tyres. That is incredible. So Ryo Hirakawa. Okay. But yeah, he won Le Mans, so very, very accomplished racing driver. He drives for Toyota in WEC, but yeah, he's taking part in free practice 1 today. Do you think Yuki can keep up with Max in quali? Well, I don't know what you mean exactly by keep up. Do you mean within 0.2 of a second, within 0.3 of a second? Maybe make it into the same qualifying session? Like, I'm not sure, but yeah, let me know. I think he will be able to get through into Q3. That's my prediction, but I have no way of knowing that, no way of making sure. Maybe that's kind of just what I hope to see. Right. From Norris. Okay, Norris's engineer says, we don't see any damage on the tyres. And then Norris is like, how can you not see the front left tyre is grained? So... yeah, it's very obvious. That's what Norris says. Interesting. So a little bit of disagreement. Oh, Kimi Antonelli goes off as he goes through the S's there. Sorry, not the S's, on the exit of the hairpin. Little unfortunate there for Kimi Antonelli, but I think he should be fine. Are you on Twitch also? Yeah, I am on Twitch. There's a link to the Twitch channel just in the pinned chat comment. I'm F1_gamer_5 on Twitch, on YouTube, not on YouTube, on Twitch, and on Instagram. So if you guys are interested, then go ahead and follow me. I post a couple memes on Instagram here and there. So yeah, Kimi Antonelli just locks up. Same thing as Alex Albon, to be honest. Just locking up as they go into the hairpin, carrying a little bit too much speed, and then off into the grass and gravel they go. But yeah, he will have learned from that mistake and won't make it again. Okay. Yeah, we've got 1 minute and 30 seconds left of the session. Not much left to go, to be honest. Still got cars out on the track though. I should have probably put my phone on silent. What's that notification? Oh, people following me on Instagram. Brilliant. Right. So yeah, we've got 1,500 people tuned in. That is fantastic. What else have we got going on here? Not all that much, to be fair. Just the final laps now. Everyone just coming around the circuit and doing their final couple of race laps. They'll be doing the race start as well from the starting grid, just to get some information on the clutch. But apart from that, not too much to look into. We've got 44 seconds left of the session. Thank you everyone for tuning in. It's been a pleasure commentating to you guys. We've got 10,000 people tuned into the stream, which is brilliant. Record, in fact, for free practice, and in 2 hours time I will once again be live for free practice 2, so I look forward to seeing you then. Yeah, that's pretty much it really. Not too much to look into. Nobody's doing any hot laps, so yeah, I might as well just end the stream in a couple of seconds now. But very much do appreciate everyone tuning in, and we'll actually be getting hot laps, proper low fuel runs in FP2, because that's the same time as qualifying, so same time of day, same track temperatures, things like that. So very much is appreciated. Thank you, Glenwood. Thank you, Craig. I mean, thank you everyone saying thank you in the chat. I can't obviously say thank you to everyone, but in 2 hours time I'll be live once again for free practice 2. So yeah, I will see you then. If you could hit the like button for free practice 2, that really helps out the channel, like immensely. Like, the YouTube algorithm loves it if you press the like button before the stream starts. So if you could go ahead and do that, that'd very much be appreciated. It'll take you over to free practice 2 in about 10 seconds time. So yeah, thank you everyone for tuning in, and I will see you in 2 hours for free practice 2.